In the previous class, we have started the destructive testing and non-destructive testing chapter, out of which destructive test, tensile test part. So tensile testing means what? So last time I asked you the question, what is the difference between stress and strength? So stress is the value, actually it is force per unit area, and strength is the property. So how much maximum stress material can sustain, it decides its strength. Now, tensile test means material is tested under tension. So you are going to pull your component axially away from each other. It's rightly shown in this figure. When you are pulling your component away from each other, the part get elongated. So from tensile testing, what properties will be find out? So I'll write one by one. First, elongation. You can also write down properties which are obtained from tensile testing. Properties which are obtained from tensile testing. Percentage elongation, ductility, yield strength, elastic strain, let's trace it. Yield stress, UTS, long form is ultimate tensile stress. Then breaking stress, then resilience, then toughness, and in bracket you write true toughness. Now, how to carry out experiment? I hope you have written this. Somebody reply me. Abhinay, may audible? Sumit?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay. So have you written this?
Yes.
Now, these are the parameters to be checked in tensile testing. What type of questions are asked? It may not be asked directly. What is tensile testing? What are the parameters? No, not like that. It may be also asked to draw the stress strain curve for elastic or for ductile material and explain the following properties. Or number of sub questions also it covers MCQ. I asked to write here true toughness. So what is meaning of true toughness? That I will explain you during the explanation of the curve. How tensile testing experiment is carried out. So aim you understand why tensile test is carried out for this purpose. Tensile test is carried out to know yield stress, ultimate tensile stress, ductility, percentage elongation, etc., etc. Then how it is carried out? Simple mechanism or schematic diagram is shown. You have to pull your part axially. In old days, so a well-known instrument was there called as tensometer. Tensometer is one unit in which two jaws are kept, and you need to hold your specimen in two jaws, and axial pulling action is provided. Mechanical working maybe by some wheel or maybe hydraulically. So once you pull it on this, some strain gauges etc. are mounted. So as you are going to pull, elongation takes place. These elongations are measured by strain gauges. So for how much load, how much elongation, means you can calculate stress and strain. But with due course of time, there are advanced UTMs. Universal testing machine. The meaning of universal testing machine is it tests tensile, or this machine is used for tensile testing, compression testing, shear testing, bending testing. Means all types of testings are carried out on this machine. That's why the name is universal testing machine. Such two machines are in our college. Old days, when civil branch was not there, that machine was part of mechanical department, because utilization is important. In civil engineering, there are three SOM subjects: strength of material, SOM 1, SOM 2, SOM 3. Yours is that mechanical of materials. We require only for one experiment. Maximum utilization is in civil engineering. So in 2008, 10 something, that machine is shifted to civil department. So we used to carry out that experiment by visiting ground floor. One more machine is in our campus in Diploma College. Now both machines are universal testing machines. One is digital machine and another is analog machine. We'll directly take experiment on digital machine, which is attached with computer. Universal testing machine is having capacity of how much load it can apply. So analog machine is of 40 ton capacity, digital machine is of 100 ton capacity. So you can apply 100 tons of load. Imagine how much load you can apply to the specimen. So that if we are going to pull it till it break stress, part becomes unserviceable. Last time I have explained you what is the meaning what is the meaning of that unserviceable means, and why testing is carried out even part becomes unserviceable. Now, universal testing machine is a little bigger size, complicated machine. I will show the schematic diagram here. Okay, and then how curves are plotted. Next line, write down. Tensile testing machine. Tensile testing is carried out on tensometer or universal testing machine. The schematic diagram of UTM is as shown. Hello. Pay attention now. This is the schematic diagram. At actual, just imagination is required from your side. There are 4 pillars. Out of that, 4 are screws. Screw means on which jaws are moving. And 2 are just here. I have not shown any screw, etc. Now, this is one jaw. These 2 are another. So first, upper, lower, and middle. There is no relative motion between first and third. First and third are connected to each other. And middle jaw can move up and down for adjustment. Your specimen will fit in middle jaw and upper jaw. How? Depends upon your length. You have to press the buttons on control panel. Middle jaw will move up and down. There are jaws. So jaw keys are there. You have to open that jaw, fix the specimen, lock it, and this specimen will fix. Once specimen is fixed, you should not move movable jaw. That is middle jaw. It should be locked. Now, when tensile testing is to be carried out, you have to start the pump. What will happen? This first and third jaw are connected to each other, I told. Directly this assembly of first and third will move upward. Imagine what will happen. Middle is fixed during working. Middle is only moving during adjustment. But during working, middle is fixed. So upper jaw will move up, means complete setup is moved up. And there will be tension or tensile action in this specimen. Why this is universal testing? When compression testing is to be carried out, mechanism of working is same. Only middle jaw is at the lower position by adjustment and specimen is kept here. So same way, when you start the pump, whole assembly will move up. In that case, your specimen is between second and lower. So it will be compressed between. So we are studying tensile test. Specimen is around 150 mm gauge length. What is gauge length? Gauge length is that length which is fixed between middle jaw and upper jaw. This is your required length. As per the standards, you have to take approximately 150 gauge length. Usually it depends upon diameter. This diameter. It is 10 mm. Specimen is prepared with 10 mm diameter. But if diameter is little different or more, gauge length may be vary. But usually everywhere standard gauge length of 150 is selected. Then what is total length? See here, I have shown dotted lines. Means what? This extra part which is above gauge length is used for fitting in the jaws. So your calculative length is 150. You have to adjust this accordingly. Skill is required here. Your machine is very large. One person have to stand on the machine, adjust, and then accordingly 150 mm is adjusted. And then you are ready for elongation. So when we'll start applying the load, how load is applied? Load is applied through control panel by power pack, hydraulically operated. So oil is there, oil is connected to the base of this machine and below a hydraulic force is there. As soon as you on the pump, you have seen how vehicles are lifted with hydraulic force. Same way this mechanism is lifted hydraulically. And it is connected to computer. It will measure how much load, how much elongation. So connections are provided to the computer so that it is elongating, automatically it is showing the 1 mm elongation, 2 mm, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, whatever it may be. And now, when this will start elongating, you will come across number of properties: elastic stress, yield stress, ultimate tensile stress, and breaking stress. And these are plotted on stress strain curve. This you are familiar with stress strain curve maybe in Young's modulus experiment in 12th chapter. Okay, you may be aware this experiment or the stress strain curve in mechanics of material subject. Somewhere you are aware for that time. Hello, am I audible? Somebody reply. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there was some disturbance. So I was saying that the stress strain curve you are already knowing. Once again, we will see how it is different for ductile material and brittle material. So may I erase this now? I hope you have drawn it. I will erase this now. %99 questions on tensile testing is on stress strain curve. 99% I'm saying. So if you check earlier all old question papers, you will find question on stress strain curve only. So it is important, just see. Draw this figure. I'll take attendance. Over. Okay. Please pay attention. Now, this is the stress strain curve for ductile material, and this is the stress strain curve for brittle material. See the difference. Brittle material are very poor in tension. You see here for ductile material, if you go on applying load, material will go on elongating, and then it will show an elastic stress yield stress, ultimate tensile stress, breaking stress. What is elastic stress? So the stress up to which a material can retain its original shape. Up to that, if you extend and if you leave the load, it will complete, or it means 150 mm you have taken as a gauge length. If you take up to elastic stress and if you leave, it will become 140 once again. But beyond it, if you go, it will go to yield stress. So the stress value at which material shows appreciable plastic deformation. Without increasing stress, we will find strain has increased. Strain means elongation. Strain is change in length per original length. And stress is force per unit area. And above that, you go on elongating it. Your material will go on elongating. A value which is UTS, maximum value of stress sustained by the steel before failure. So up to this higher point, it sustains the stress value. But beyond it, if you try to stress, it will go on becoming weaker and weaker, and at some lower value of stress, it will break. Now, elasticity of steel is very good as compared to other materials. What is elasticity? Is how much maximum elongation it can have. So, you know, the very confusing question may be asked in the interviews, which is more elastic? Rubber is more elastic or steel is more elastic? Answer is that steel is more elastic. So don't go by you are applying load and rubber get elastic easily with your manual force, and steel you cannot elongate by manual force. Don't compare with manual force. Compare the meaning of elasticity is how much maximum elongation it can go for before failure. Okay. Now, that's why steel is more ductile. Steel is having good tensile strength. That is, ductile materials are having good tensile strength, and brittle materials are having poor tensile strength. What happened? If you see this graph, now I don't know how many of you exactly copied from the board. See, this gap should be very minimum. If anybody have drawn in this way, it's wrong. It means you are showing more elongation here because this is strain. Are you getting? If anybody have drawn this gap larger, erase that figure. This gap minimum. Are you getting my point? Because this gap gets elongation. That's why I have very precisely drawn minimum gap. And if you see here, gap is sufficient because elasticity properties are involved. What is this hatched part? Hatched part is area under stress strain curve. That is called as toughness. Complete starting from this point to this point. So, toughness is energy absorbed prior to fracture. Definition of toughness is energy absorbed prior to fracture. Now, always remember that stress strain curve gives true toughness. Area under stress strain gives true toughness. Exactly energy absorbed prior to fracture is called as true toughness. One more test is there called as impact test. It gives relative toughness. So this is MCQ question as well as oral question. Which of the following gives true toughness? So tensile test gives true toughness and impact test gives relative toughness. If aim of tensile test is not to carry out, not to measure the toughness, automatically it is coming with other properties because it is same thing. You have to plot. After plotting, you have to measure the area. Again, shape is complicated. You have to apply geometrical equations and calculate. So to avoid it, relative toughness is made in impact test. That is next experiment we'll see. So remember, toughness is energy absorbed prior to fracture. So more the toughness means more energy absorbed by the specimen before failure. Means more stress, more sustainability in tension. I hope you understood. Now, what is resilience? Only this much square hatched apart. Energy absorbed prior to elastic deformation. Higher the resilience, you can elastically deform it more. Try to understand. Higher the resilience means higher is the elastic stress. So, copper nickel alloy is having good resilience and used as a non-sparking tool in coal mines. So, it will not deform easily. Higher the resilience means it will not deform easily. So, higher resilience is energy absorbed prior to elastic deformation. What is UTS? Ultimate tensile stress, maximum stress sustained by the component before failure. These are the various properties on stress strain curve. So how the question will be? Draw stress strain curve for ductile and brittle material and explain some one or two properties may be asked. So if it is asked for 4 marks, you have to draw the figures currently and then explain one or two properties. So I hope you have drawn the figure. I will dictate the properties. Go to next line. Ductile material is having good tensile properties or good tensile strength. Following are the properties on stress strain curve of ductile material. First, elastic stress. Elastic stress. It is the maximum value of stress up to which material is elastic. Second, yield stress. It is the maximum value of stress at which material shows appreciable plastic deformation. Maximum value of stress at which material shows appreciable plastic deformation. Full stop. At yield stress, material shows increasing strength without increasing stress. Third, ultimate tensile stress. Write long form correctly. So UTS, ultimate tensile stress. UTM is used for carrying out test. That is universal testing machine. Ultimate tensile stress. It is the highest value of stress that material sustain before failure. Full stop. Next line. So breaking stress is the stress value at which it breaks. As simple as it is. Now write the property toughness. Toughness, right? It is area under stress strain curve. It is area under stress strain curve. Full stop. It is energy absorbed by the material prior to fracture. Means before fracture. Energy absorbed by the material prior to fracture. Full stop. Now make star mark or underline. Tensile test gives true toughness. Next slide. Resilience. It is energy absorbed prior to elastic deformation. Energy absorbed prior to elastic deformation. Full stop. Next statement, you write, make star mark to it. It is interview question or at the upper side, you write, ductile materials are good in tension, whereas brittle materials are good in compression. This brittle materials tensile test is very poor. Brittle materials tensile strength is very poor, but their compression strength is very good. Whereas ductile materials tensile strength is very good, compression test is poor. Simple logic. So in compression testing, your specimen is small, length is approximately equal to diameter. So you can easily compress. If long specimen used in tensile testing, you try to compress in this way, it will buckle or bend. That's why L by D ratio is important in compression testing. Now, both graphs, how they are plotted for steel with percentage of carbon, that I will show here. Next line, stress strain curve for different types of steels. But in exam, when ductile and brittle is asked, you have to draw these both only. Now next is for your understanding. How property changes with increasing percentage of carbon. Ten minutes away. Title you write, stress strain curve for different types of steels. Let us start with low carbon steel. So as like low carbon steel is very ductile. Our curve will be like this. This is for 0.2% carbon steel. 0.2% carbon. Percentage of carbon is increased. It will try to shift to left side. Its elongation decreases. Zero point 4% carbon. Zero point 5% carbon. 0.7% carbon. Little less increase. 0.1% carbon. In this way. So this is schematic diagram. This 0.1 may be little lesser and up to 1.5 it may be brittle. No problem. Just for your understanding, I have drawn this diagram so that you can understand the lesser the percentage of carbon, how toughness will be, and how it will give good property of elastic stress, yield stress, etc., etc. For your understanding. Now, friends, remember stress values in tensor testing. There are two types of stress. One is true stress, and another is engineering stress. Whatever we are talking about, so force per unit area is your true stress value. Actually, how much force is applied and how much area is there. So, instantaneous stress and true stress. So, when your machines are automatic, it measures at every instant how much is the load. So, logically, when UTM, it is not a hard weight that you have applied 10 kg load as a mass. Not like that. There is a oil, hydraulic power pack. So you are going to increase the pressure of oil. So load will continuously go on increasing. Initially load is less and again it will go on increasing the values, And your material will start sustaining that load. So when it will stop sustaining, it will break. It is not the case that directly you applied that higher load. No, you are starting from zero. So at every instance, whenever your load is applied, your rod you are going to elongate. So initially 10 mm diameter, after some time it becomes 9.5 mm diameter. Are you getting? So diameter go on decreasing. So instantaneous load and instantaneous cross-section area. Now, how the ductile and brittle material fractures? This is also interview question. So I will erase this figure now and I will show typical ductile fracture and brittle fracture. May I erase this? Somebody reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When just I am explaining now, instantaneous load and instantaneous cross-section area means what? You go on applying the load and material will go on elongating. So diameter go on decreasing and length go on increasing. So in this way. This is your initial rod. Then blade formation starts. It is called as lake formation. This is called as typical cup cone fracture. The cup cone like shape will come at the time of failure by formation of this snake in slowly and progressively. So this is typical ductile fracture, cup cone type fracture. But brittle fracture, check here. So elongation is very less in brittle material, and it will directly suddenly break. This is brittle fracture. So in this way, brittle material breaks. Actually, so with very negligible elongation, brittle material breaks, and ductile material breaks with elongation. So this is typical ductile fracture, and this is brittle fracture. So I hope you understand almost maximum all properties of this tensile test. So from tensile testing, you'll come to know. Now you will say ki during during working of the machine, can we see this? Answer is yes. Initially, you fix this rod in this way, and machine you have made on. You are observing. Little if machine is higher, you have to stand on the bench and check. So as soon as the ultimate tensile strength is achieved, that graph will start moving down because break stress is less than ultimate tensile stress. So you can see by your naked eyes this shape. It is visible to you, and immediately you can say that within 1 or 2 seconds or 3 seconds part will break. So this fracture I have shown to our students during our practicals. So when you will come back in college, we have an experiment here. I will show you this mechanism. Time being, remember the mechanism of tensile testing, significance of tensile testing, how it is carried out, how stress strain curves are plotted, what are the properties of stress strain curve, what is difference in stress strain curve of ductile material and brittle material, and what is difference in ductile fracture and brittle fracture. Now logically you say that ductile material shows ductile fracture and brittle material shows brittle fracture. Now very important statement I am making here. You may feel that ductile material fails or shows ductile fracture and brittle material shows brittle fracture, but it is not always. Many times ductile material shows brittle fracture. I repeat once again, in normal circumstances with gradually applied load, ductile material shows ductile fracture, means elongation. So initial gauge length is, how to calculate percentage elongation? Percentage elongation is equal to initial gauge length, final gauge length suppose becomes 170. 150 ची 170 झाली लांब होत before breaking. 170 minus 150 divided by 150. Initial final gauge length minus initial gauge length upon initial gauge length. So in this way you will get percentage elongation. Ductile material shows good elongation. Brittle material shows very negligible elongation. But many times ductile material fails in brittle manner. How, why, when? What are the requirements? That part we are going to cover in next class, that is impact test. So whatever questions I have given in the test, you please solve. Google form is already given to you. You can upload in 3-4 days. Whatever questions are available in the chapter notes, that also you solve as a assignments. We will stop here. Thank you.